Family photos have always been a production in my family. Matching sweaters, forced smiles, and my Aunt Linda's shrill voice directing everyone like it's a Vogue shoot instead of a backyard with plastic chairs. But this year I wasn't dreading the chaos. I'd lost a little confidence lately, gained some weight after a tough year. But I still wanted to be part of the moment. I thought maybe, for once, we'd just take a picture as we were. When I walked into my aunt's living room, I could feel the pause. My cousin Megan glanced me up and down with that kind of fake smile that burns like acid. "Oh, hey," she said, her tone dripping with that particular brand of politeness only mean girls master in adulthood. "You look comfortable." Everyone chuckled, even my uncle, though he tried to stifle it with a cough. My mom gave me the look, the one that silently begged me not to start anything. So I just smiled and said, "Yeah, comfort's kind of the point." The photographer, my other cousin's boyfriend with a new camera, started calling out names. "Okay, family photo time. Let's get everyone in." I moved to stand beside my mom, near the front like usual. Before I could even settle, Megan said loudly, "Wait, maybe she should stand in the back. Balance the picture better." The laughter that followed wasn't even subtle. A few people pretended to fix their clothes to hide their smirks. My throat went dry. I could feel the sting in my chest, but instead of showing it, I just nodded. "Sure," I said quietly, stepping aside. My hands trembled as I picked up the phone from the counter. "Actually, let me take the photo. That way, I won't mess up the balance." It went silent for a split second, just enough for Megan's smirk to falter. But no one spoke up for me. Not my mom, not my aunt, not even the cousins I'd grown up sharing secrets with. So I took the picture. I made sure every face was perfectly framed, every detail clear. I smiled the whole time. Not the warm, family kind of smile, but the kind that hides hurt under perfect control. Afterward, everyone went back to chatting and eating pie like nothing happened. But my appetite was gone. I stayed quiet the rest of the night, just listening, catching snippets of conversation about diets, holiday weight, and how some people just let themselves go. When I got home later that night, I sat in bed scrolling through my phone. I stared at the photo I'd taken. All of them lined up perfectly, beaming, their holiday sweaters bright under the twinkling lights. A perfect picture of family, except it wasn't. Not really. Because sometimes family isn't about who stands next to you. It's about who stands for you. And that night, not one of them did. So I decided to take one last picture. One that would change how they saw the perfect family forever. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard it again. Maybe she should stand in the back. That sentence didn't just sting. It crawled under my skin and stayed there, replaying like a broken record. Around 2 a.m., I got out of bed, grabbed my laptop, and opened the folder where I'd saved the family photos. There it was, their perfect shot. Everyone looking flawless, everyone pretending. And then there was me, behind the camera, erased. For years, I'd been the one holding everything together. Planning dinners, remembering birthdays, checking on grandma when no one else bothered. But that night, looking at that photo, I realized something. They liked me better when I was useful. Not when I took up space. So I opened Photoshop. I wasn't sure what I was going to do at first. But as the clock ticked past 3 a.m., my plan started taking shape. Quiet, deliberate, and satisfying. I zoomed in on each of their faces. Megan, Aunt Linda, my mom, the cousins, all smiling like nothing was wrong. I added a faint, almost invisible caption above the image in soft script. The people who taught me family doesn't always mean love. Then, at the bottom, I added something else. A smaller line, almost poetic in its bitterness. Photo taken by the one they told to stand in the back. I saved it. Stared at it. Then opened Instagram. It wasn't impulsive. I didn't write a long rant, didn't tag anyone. Just posted the photo with a short caption. Some memories don't need filters. They reveal the truth all on their own. Within minutes, the likes started rolling in. Friends, coworkers, even people I hadn't talked to in years. But it wasn't the attention I cared about. It was the message. I went to bed finally feeling calm, not angry, just finished. The next morning, my phone started buzzing before 8 a.m. First, my cousin Amy texted, "Girl, Your post. You okay? Then my mom called, and 4 times in a row. I ignored her. By noon, the group chat was exploding. Screenshots, voice notes, the works. Megan had apparently seen the post and gone ballistic. She'd commented something like, "If you had a problem, you could have said it to my face." But the comment section didn't go the way she expected. Dozens of people jumped in. Some strangers, some mutuals, saying things like, "Wow, imagine making someone feel that way. This caption says everything about fake family." You can see it in their smiles, that forced energy. And then, something unexpected happened. My Aunt Linda's neighbor, a woman I barely knew, commented, "Oh, so this is the family that told their own niece to stand in the back because of her weight." Yikes. I froze. How did she know that? Then I remembered. My little cousin Eli was there that night. He must have told someone. By evening, the post had spread beyond just my circle. A few local moms I followed even shared it with captions like, "This hit hard. Be kind, even in your family." At dinner, I finally answered my mom's call. She didn't start with hello. "What the hell did you do, Emily?" she hissed. "What do you mean?" I asked calmly. "You embarrassed this entire family. People are calling your aunt, your cousins in tears. Then maybe they should think about why," I said. Silence. Then softer. "You could have just told me you were hurt." I laughed. "When, Mom? During the part where you all laughed at me?" She sighed. "You're blowing this out of proportion." "It was a joke." "Yeah," I said. "And now the joke's on them." I hung up before she could respond. Later that night, I checked Instagram again. The post had thousands of likes, hundreds of comments. People were sharing their own stories. About being excluded. About being the wrong size. About being told they didn't belong in their own family photos. Somewhere in that scrolling, I realized something. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about everyone who'd ever been made to feel less than by people who claimed to love them. And as for my cousin Megan, she finally texted me that night. 3 words. "Delete it, please." I didn't reply. I just smiled, turned off my phone, and went to bed. Because the truth had already done what it needed to do. And it was only the beginning. The silence didn't last long. By the next morning, the storm had started. When I opened my phone, the family group chat had more than 60 new messages. I didn't even need to read them to know the tone. Defensive, dramatic, desperate. Then came the calls. Aunt Linda first, then Mom again, then my brother-in-law. I ignored them all. But when Grandma called, I hesitated. She never got involved in drama. Her voice trembled. "Emily, honey, what happened?" For a moment, I felt that old guilt creep up, the one they'd conditioned into me since I was a kid. The guilt of being the too emotional one, the problem starter. I took a deep breath and said quietly, "Grandma, they humiliated me." Megan made fun of my weight, in front of everyone. They laughed. I just took the picture like I didn't matter. There was a long pause. Then she said, "Oh, sweetheart, I saw the post, and I know you. You don't do things out of spite. You do them out of pain." Tears burned in my eyes. I just wanted them to know how it felt. "You did," she said softly. "And maybe they finally will. But the others, they didn't take it that gracefully." By noon, my cousin Ben, Megan's brother, posted some half-hearted "family is everything" story on Facebook, clearly aimed at me. It had a picture of them smiling, holding hands, with a caption like, "You can't break what's built on love." Love. That made me laugh out loud. That evening, I got a message from Megan herself, a long one this time. "You've made this a circus. You know I didn't mean what I said. It was just a joke, Emily. You're always so sensitive. But now, thanks to your stupid post, people are calling me a bully. Do you feel better now?" I read it twice. Then I typed back slowly, deliberately. "You humiliated me in front of my daughter. That wasn't a joke. It was cruelty disguised as humor. So yeah, I do feel better." I hit send. She didn't reply. 2 days later, my mom showed up at my apartment. No warning, just pounding on the door. When I opened it, she was holding her phone like evidence. "You need to fix this, Emily. People in church are talking." "Good," I said flatly. She looked stunned. Excuse me? Maybe they'll stop pretending everything's perfect now. Her face hardened. You've humiliated us. No, I said. You humiliated me. I just told the truth. She sighed, her tone dropping into that familiar guilt-laced rhythm. We raised you better than this. You don't air family issues to the world. Then maybe you shouldn't have created family issues in the first place, I replied. She didn't like that. Her lips thinned. Do you know how much you've hurt Megan? She can't even show her face at work. I shrugged. Maybe she'll think twice next time before laughing at someone's expense. Mom shook her head like she didn't recognize me. You've changed. Yeah, I said quietly. That's kind of the point. She left without another word. But that night, something unexpected happened. My DMs were full, not just with strangers, but with people I knew. Old classmates, co-workers, even my cousin Amy, the one who never spoke up. They were all sending messages like, that post, it hit home. They did that to me too, just in different ways. Thank you for saying what we couldn't. And then Amy sent one that stopped me cold. You weren't the only one Megan mocked. She's been doing this for years. I just didn't think anyone would ever call her out. I sat there staring at the screen. For the first time, I realized my post didn't just expose their cruelty. It cracked open years of silence. 2 days later, Grandma called again. Her voice was firmer this time. You know, Megan called me crying, she said. I waited, expecting a guilt trip. Instead, Grandma added, I told her maybe now she knows how you felt all those years. Maybe now she'll think before she speaks. I laughed through tears. You really said that? I did. And I meant it, she said proudly. You didn't destroy anything, Emily. You held up a mirror. By the end of the week, things were quieter. No calls, no group messages. Just this strange, thick silence that comes after a storm. Then Saturday morning, I got a notification. Someone tagged me in a post. It was from Megan. The caption read, Sometimes we hurt people without realizing it. To those I've ever made feel small, I'm sorry. No names, no details. But everyone knew who she meant. The comments were full of people saying how mature she was for apologizing. I didn't comment. I didn't need to, because I knew that post wasn't for me. It was for her image. Still, it was something, a crack in the armor. That night, my daughter climbed into my lap with her tablet. She'd seen the original photo, the one I'd taken, and asked, Mommy, why didn't you smile in it? I hesitated, then said softly, because sometimes people forget to be kind. She nodded like she understood more than she should. Then she said, You looked prettier when you smiled yesterday. I laughed, really laughed this time. Because she was right. I had smiled yesterday, genuinely, for the first time in a long time. And maybe that was the real victory, not the post, not the silence, not even the apology, but the peace that came after I stopped standing in the back and finally took my own picture. A few weeks passed and life started to settle again, quieter, calmer, freer. The family group chat was still dead. No new photos, no weekend plans, no happy birthday, messages that usually filled it up. I thought maybe they were finally learning what silence felt like when you're on the outside looking in. I didn't miss it. For the first time in years, I wasn't walking on eggshells before a family gathering. I wasn't rehearsing responses in my head, trying to be the cool cousin, the easygoing sister, the one who laughs it off when people cross a line. Instead, I was just me, and it felt strange, but good. Then one day, Grandma called again. I'm having a little lunch next weekend, she said gently. Just a few people. No big drama this time. I promise. I hesitated. Who's coming? Mostly the older ones. Maybe your mom. Maybe Megan. My stomach tightened. I don't know, Grandma. I understand, she said softly. But you don't have to hide, dear. You didn't do anything wrong, and I'd love to see you. So, I agreed. That Sunday, I baked my daughter's favorite lemon loaf. Her tiny hands helped with the icing, and we drove to Grandma's house. The air felt different this time, lighter, like I had nothing to prove anymore. When we walked in, Grandma's face lit up. There's my girl, she said, hugging me tight. Then behind her, I saw Megan. She was sitting quietly at the table, eyes down. No smug grin, no camera in her hand. Just a woman who looked small, smaller than I'd ever seen her. "Hi, Emily," she said. Her voice cracked a little. I gave her a polite nod. "Hey." Throughout lunch, it was awkward but civil. No jokes at my expense. No backhanded comments. Just the clinking of forks and the smell of roast chicken. About halfway through the meal, Grandma said, "We haven't taken a picture together in so long. How about one before you all go?" Everyone murmured agreement, though no one seemed too eager. We gathered by the fireplace, the same spot where the last photo had been taken. Megan was fidgeting with her sleeve, and when Grandma handed me the phone, she said softly, "Do you want to take it, or should I ask someone else?" I looked at her for a moment. Then I smiled faintly. "No, I'll take it." But this time I didn't step aside. I handed the phone to Grandma and stood right in the front next to my daughter. Megan hesitated, then moved slightly to the side, almost like she was giving me space. The irony didn't escape me. We smiled. Click. After the photo, Grandma showed it to everyone. "Oh, that's lovely," she said. "Everyone looks happy." And we did, or at least most of us did. Later that night when I got home, I looked at that picture again. My daughter beaming beside me standing proudly in front. No hiding, no shrinking, no pretending. And in the corner, Megan, glancing at me, almost like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. For a moment, I thought about sending her a message. Something like, "I hope you're doing okay." But then I stopped. Because forgiveness, I realized, doesn't always need to be announced. Sometimes it's just living better. A few days later, something unexpected happened. Megan sent me an email. Not a text, not a comment, but an honest email. It was short and for the first time real. "Emily, I've been thinking a lot about what happened. I'm sorry, not because people saw it, but because you and your daughter didn't deserve it. I've been awful for a long time, and I think that post woke me up. I'm not asking for us to be close, but I wanted you to know I get it now. Megan." I stared at it for a long time. Not angry, not triumphant, just relieved. I didn't reply right away. I didn't know what to say, so I left it for a few days. Then, one night while scrolling, I found the photo from that lunch again. Everyone smiling. Everyone pretending as always. But for the first time, I didn't feel like I was pretending. So I posted it. Quietly, no captions, no drama. Just the picture. Within minutes, the comments started. "You look amazing. Such a beautiful family." That smile says everything. And maybe it did. Because that smile wasn't about revenge anymore. It wasn't about proving anything. It was about reclaiming the space I'd given away for so many years. I didn't need to call anyone out again. I didn't need another viral post. I didn't need them to change to finally feel okay. I had already changed. That night, I tucked my daughter into bed, and she whispered, "Mom, can I be in the front in the next picture too?" I smiled. "You can be wherever you want, sweetheart." Then I turned off the light, sat down with a cup of tea, and finally felt peace. Because sometimes the loudest statement isn't the post that goes viral. It's the quiet confidence of standing in front, unashamed, unhidden, unbroken. And for the first time, that was exactly who I was.